Separated probably 2 or 3 times in the past. I always felt like that was because she couldn't manage the relationship.
Many of Kody Brown's kids aren't speaking to each other. A text message discussion over a 2021 holiday gift exchange turned particularly ugly for the 18 Brown offspring. It all went bad, it all went south, detailed Christine. Kody and Robyn and their kids were on one side and they wanted nothing to do with Janelle, me, our kids. And there was a split that happened after this text thread. Robyn's take was that her 3 older kids felt the exchange was emotionally unsafe and said they needed to take a step back from the relationship. But it was never anything about, "We don't want to see you again, we don't want anything to do with you," she insisted. It was just about, like, "Hey, this got yucky." For his part, Gabriel is hoping that they could find their way back to each other. "The thing I want most is to just have a relationship with Robyn's children again," he confessed in the October 13th episode. "In middle school, Aurora was my favorite person to hang out with. And in high school, I would always try to hit Dayton up. But I'm not hopeful for a relationship with Dad and Robyn." Robyn Brown's kids never felt welcomed into the family. "I have been told directly, multiple circumstances by multiple different people, that I was not accepted." Aurora insisted of coming into the family when her mom wed Kody in 2010, that I was not their sister, that they didn't consider or see me that way. And her sister Brianna said she felt the parents could have done a better job with, connecting us as a family, and it never really happened. But Christine isn't sure how they could have opened their arms any wider. "Robyn's kids and Robyn were invited to everything," she insisted. "I would just say, just come into the house anytime you want." Meanwhile, she added, her daughter Isabel Brown was very close to Robyn's kids and Michael T. Brown Padron even lived with them for a stretch. "There were hard times and my kids were frustrated, but they always considered Robyn's kids their siblings just the same." Janelle Brown would do plural marriage again, Kody Brown wouldn't. Gushing about the independence she was afforded, Janelle said of plural marriage, "When it's functioning correctly, you have this amazing family unit that you're part of, a community that you're plugged into. You have a husband and you have a great relationship with him and you have everything, right? And then I have all my independence. So to me, plural marriage really was a really great arrangement." Kody, however, wouldn't say "I do" to polygamy again. "Polygamy kills emotional intimacy," he opined on the December 1st episode. "It makes everybody defensive, and I really want an emotionally vulnerable, intimate relationship with a woman, and you're not going to get that in polygamy." Kody Brown started distancing himself from Janelle Brown years ago. To hear Janelle tell it, Kody had a tougher time dividing his love after the family decamped from Las Vegas to Arizona in 2018. When he moved to Flagstaff, Kody found it a lot easier to be away, she noted on the September 29th episode. "A couple of times I had to remind him that he needed to come to my house." Revealing he'd try to beg off because he was tired, she shared, "I'm really tired. I'm like, well, you can rest at my house just as much as you can rest at Robyn's house." Janelle Brown and Christine Brown Woolley's kids didn't love going to Robyn Brown's home. Detailing the separateness her brood felt with Robyn, Janelle claimed, "My children were scolded if they would open up Robyn's fridge." For Christine's kids, though, the issue was that they saw that Robyn and their dad were a couple and he wasn't in our home. And Robyn said her crew definitely felt the divide. "Meri, across the board, was very accepting of my kids and I, but the rest of the family really struggled to accept my kids and I," she shared on the September 29th episode. "All we wanted to do was be a part of this family." But Gabriel would argue that he and his siblings went to great lengths to bring them into the fold. "I think that Robyn definitely has a victim complex," he said in the October 13th episode. "I mean, to put it bluntly. And I don't necessarily blame her for that. I think that different people do, devise different strategies to keep themselves afloat. However," he continued, "if she actually believes that we were mistreating her or her children in any way when she was constantly getting favorited by Dad and we were always working on our relationship with her kids, if she actually believes that, Then there's no chance of me having a relationship with Robyn ever again. Janelle Brown questioned Robyn Brown and Kody Brown's parenting. Having their dad shuffle between 4 different homes did have an effect on Kody's 18 kids, he detailed during the September 29th episode, sharing the time that his and Robyn's youngest, Ariella, who was born in January 2016, clung to his leg as he was trying to leave. I had to explain to her, there's another wife that needs me, another mommy. I got other kids that need to see me, Kody described. And she's just dragging along on my legs screaming, don't leave me, Daddy, don't leave me. And I'm like, golly, man, this is hard. Unfortunately, that's just a reality of plural marriage, insisted Janelle. From the very beginning, she explained, her kids knew that their dad was not going to always be there. I always felt like that Kody and Robyn mismanaged the situation with her children. He couldn't be away for more than 3 or 4 days because Ari just gets so sad or whatever. I'm like, I feel like that was poor parenting. Through all history of the family, the other kids did it and they're fine. They're well-adjusted adults. Michael T. Padron had a very close relationship with Robyn Brown. One of the few Brown kids who was still close to both Robyn and Kody and Christine and Janelle, mom of 3, Michael T. took on the role of peacekeeper during Kody's divorces. Tight with Robyn from the moment she entered the Brown family, Michael T. even invited her to be at the November 2022 birth of her twins Archer and Ace. When Robyn first joined the family, I was trying to figure out who I was, and she made me feel special and she made me feel seen, Michael T. explained during the September 29th episode. Robyn was there for me when I needed somebody. She was there for me when I needed somebody to hear me, to love me. And her mom Christine couldn't have been more thrilled. When Robyn came in the family and it was obvious her and Michael T. had a great relationship, it was everything that I hoped for, Christine shared the October 6th episode. When I was so excited about having a plural family, I was hoping that my kids would have a great relationship with other moms. One of Kody Brown's kids claimed he brainwashed them. Kody feels it's not only his wives who subtracted him from their lives. They're purposefully leaving me out of their lives to punish me for a crime I did not commit, he explained during the October 6th episodes, giving his take on his estrangement from some of his older kids. I am only guilty of not falling madly in love with their mothers. What's more, he continued, he think his former spouses are a bit to blame. This disparity in relationship with my children is specifically in my mind because of Statok, he said. There's this whirlwind of disappointment from the family breaking up or whatever, and it's like, well, blame Dad. Dad screwed up. But while he can shoulder a bit of that blame, he takes umbrance with the name-calling. Revealing, specifically, that he was struggling to connect with Hunter, Maddie and Gabriel, Kody shared that one of his kids responded to a text saying, "You are a piece of trash. I would never speak to you again anyway." In a separate incident, he told cameras, "I've had one of my kids just say, 'You're an a-hole. I'm never talking to you again. You manipulated me and you brainwashed me.' And it's that venom he's not willing to deal with. I'm not going to reach out forever," he said, noting he thinks his adult children should be doing more to fix things. "I'm willing to make the effort, but somebody else is going to have to be on the other end of that and make some effort too." Robyn Brown was struggling to respect Kody Brown as a parent. For Robyn, watching Kody's estrangement from his adult children hit far too close to home. "When I was little, my parents got a divorce," she explained during the October 6th episode. "He lived with one wife in another city, and then my mom lived alone. I remember confronting my biological father saying, 'What happened? Why?' All he really did was just make a bunch of lame excuses as to why he wasn't there for me when I was young, and it just sucked." So, no, she wasn't about to allow Kody's hurt feelings stop him from making an effort. "I'm having a hard time not, feeling like losing respect for you a little bit," she shared during their explosive on-camera argument, which took place in late 2022. And though Kody acknowledged he could be doing more to mend his relationship with his kids, he said he needs to mend his heart first. Saying he feels some of his kids are colluding against me, he revealed, I'm so angry about what has happened that if I talk to my kids, I'm worried that they'll trigger me with an accusation. I'm too hot-headed right now. All I'll do is more damage. Kody Brown went years without seeing his grandchildren. Though much of the family was in attendance when Janelle and Kody's oldest Logan wed now wife Michelle Petty in October 2022, they weren't really feeling the love. You saw Madison take her kids and scuttle them away from me, Kody complained to Robyn in the October 6th episode, noting that his daughter hadn't told him she was expecting her third baby, daughter Josephine, who arrived in February 2023. She never told me she was pregnant. Frankly, Maddie doesn't tell her dad much of anything, with the two rarely speaking. Really, Maddie doesn't have any contact with him, Janelle explained of why her daughter steered clear of Kody at the wedding. She is very protective of her children. Kody has not been there since Evie was born, and Evie's 3.5. And she didn't want him to just drop in and be like, "Oh, I'm your grandpa," and then be like, "What? Who is this guy?" Kody's take? It's unrealistic expectation for grandparents to be in their grandchildren's lives all the time, he said, referencing Maddie's life in North Carolina, especially if you move your children to an entirely different coast. "I have work and a life in Flagstaff," Kody Brown wanted his kids to apologize to Robyn Brown. While it's clear that Kody and his adult children have very different viewpoints of their ongoing estrangement, one sticking point is his demanding some sort of mea culpa. "After the COVID scare was over and we all went back to our normal lives, we still couldn't reconcile as a family.